My name is Danny. I'm a mother, a wife, a friend, and until recently, I thought I had my life all figured out. I always believed that if you did the right things, ate well, exercised, stayed positive, life would reward you with good health. Just months ago, I was the picture of health. 39, a mother of 3, and a fitness coach. My days were filled with laughter, running after my kids, and helping others find their strength. I was proud of the life I'd built, and I felt invincible in my own way. Cancer was never part of my story. It was something that happened to other people. People you read about, or maybe distant relatives. I never imagined it would come knocking on my door. So when my doctor said, "You have bowel cancer," my world stopped. I remember the sterile smell of the room, the way the words seemed to echo, and the numbness that washed over me. In that moment, everything changed. I'd done everything right. No smoking, barely any alcohol, a clean diet, no family history. I was the person people turned to for health advice. I thought I was doing everything possible to protect myself and my family. The diagnosis shattered my identity. Suddenly, I wasn't the strong, healthy mom anymore. I was scared, confused, and overwhelmed by questions I'd never thought I'd have to ask. If I could get cancer, what did healthy even mean? Was everything I believed about wellness just an illusion? I started to doubt not just my body, but my entire worldview. I wanted to believe it was a mistake, that this wasn't my story. I clung to hope, searching for answers, desperate for someone to tell me they'd mixed up the test results. But suddenly, I was facing a future I'd never imagined. The plans I'd made, the dreams I'd had for my family, all felt uncertain. I was forced to confront fears I never knew I had. This journey has forced me to question everything I thought I knew about health. I've spent countless hours researching, talking to doctors, and trying to make sense of it all. I realized that health isn't just about what you eat or how much you exercise. It's also about genetics, luck, and things we can't always control. It's not just my story anymore. It's a wake-up call for anyone who thinks they're invincible. If this can happen to me, it can happen to anyone. I want to share my experience so others know they're not alone, and so we can all start having more honest conversations about what health really means. The truth is, health is more complicated than we want to believe. It's not a guarantee no matter how hard we try, but by sharing our stories and supporting each other, maybe we can find strength in the uncertainty and redefine what it means to truly live well. Before cancer, my life was built on wellness. Early runs, home-cooked meals, and teaching others to be healthy. My family ate fresh, whole foods. Processed snacks were rare. I was the go-to for fitness advice, living proof that a balanced lifestyle worked. No family history, no risk factors. I felt invincible. That's why the diagnosis made no sense. I'd done everything right. Suddenly, I was the health coach facing surgery and survival rates. It was humbling and terrifying. My story proves that even the healthiest people aren't immune. The rules about health and disease aren't as clear as we think. There are hidden factors at play, tipping the scales when we least expect it. You can look healthy and still find yourself fighting for your life. My only warning sign was fatigue, deep, relentless exhaustion I couldn't shake. I blamed my busy life, tried to rest, but nothing helped. Cancer never crossed my mind. I thought maybe it was low iron or stress. We all normalize tiredness, especially as parents. But my fatigue was from silent blood loss. A tumor was bleeding inside me. I became anemic without knowing it. This is the danger of bowel cancer. Early symptoms are vague and easy to ignore. Finally, I saw my doctor. A blood test revealed severe anemia. That test led to scans and then my diagnosis. I'm grateful I listened to my body. If something feels off, don't ignore it. Advocate for yourself. Sometimes a whisper is your only warning. Before my diagnosis, I thought bowel cancer was something that only happened to older men, the kind of illness you hear about in your grandparents' generation. I never imagined it could affect someone like me, young, active, and seemingly healthy. The idea that I could be at risk felt almost impossible. I was always on the move, doing yoga, cycling with friends, and living what I thought was a healthy lifestyle. But the truth is, bowel cancer doesn't discriminate. It can start in anyone, regardless of age or fitness level. Bowel cancer begins in the large intestine, also known as the colon or rectum, and it often develops quietly, without any obvious warning signs. Most cases start as small, harmless growths called polyps inside the bowel. These polyps can slowly turn cancerous over many years if they aren't found and removed. What makes bowel cancer especially dangerous is how stealthy it is. Early stages usually have no symptoms at all, so it can grow unnoticed for a long time. When symptoms do appear, they're often subtle and easy to ignore. You might notice changes in your bowel habits, like going to the toilet more or less often than usual, or your stool looking different. These changes can be mistaken for stress, diet, or other minor issues. Another warning sign is blood in your stool, which can be bright red or darker in color. It's easy to dismiss or feel embarrassed about, but it's important not to ignore it. You might also experience abdominal pain, bloating, or unexplained weight loss. These symptoms can be vague, but if they persist, they need to be checked out. In my case, my tumor was stage 2, caught before it had a chance to spread to other parts of my body. That early detection made all the difference. Survival rates are much higher when bowel cancer is found early. My surgery was extensive and the recovery was tough, but it ultimately saved my life. I'm grateful every day that my cancer was found before it was too late. Going through this experience taught me that the stereotypes about who gets bowel cancer are dangerously outdated. It's not just an old person's disease anymore, and thinking that way can put younger people at risk. More and more people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s are being diagnosed with bowel cancer, many of them with no family history or obvious risk factors. That's why awareness is so critical. We all need to rethink who's at risk, pay attention to our bodies, and never be afraid to speak up if something feels wrong. Early action can save lives. After surgery, I asked my surgeon, "Why me?" He suggested the roots of my cancer might stretch back to my 1990s childhood. That era brought ultra-processed foods, chemical additives, and new household products. Kids like me ate sugary cereals, processed meats, and food from plastic containers. We were exposed to chemicals and pollutants previous generations never faced. The long-term effects are only now becoming clear as my generation gets sick. It was a chilling realization. Our childhood environment may shape our health decades later. My story isn't unique. Bowel cancer rates in people under 50 are rising fast worldwide. In England, diagnoses in young adults climb over 3% each year. The average age of diagnosis is dropping, with more people in their 20s and 30s affected. Many are fit and health conscious, defying traditional risk profiles. Classic risk factors don't explain this surge. Scientists suspect new environmental or lifestyle triggers are at work. This is a global health crisis, not just a personal battle. We must shatter the myth that bowel cancer is only for the old. Young people need to listen to their bodies and push for answers. Early awareness can save lives. We're all in this together. If it's not just genetics or lifestyle, what's driving this cancer surge? Ultra-processed foods, packed with chemicals and low in fiber, are a major suspect. Our gut microbiome, home to trillions of bacteria, is also under scrutiny. A recent study linked early-onset bowel cancer to a toxin from certain E. coli bacteria, especially if exposure happens in childhood. Processed meats are proven carcinogens. 13% of bowel cancer cases are linked to them. Obesity is another risk, but not the only one. Scientists are also investigating microplastics and pollution. It's not one thing, but a mixed modern diets, disrupted gut bacteria, and constant chemical exposure. The way we eat and live has changed dramatically, and so have our risks. The clues all point to our environment and food. Knowledge is power, especially with bowel cancer. Early detection saved my life. At stage 2, my 5-year survival rate is 85%. But if caught late, survival drops sharply. Know the 5 red flags: persistent changes in bowel habits, blood in stool, ongoing abdominal pain, unexplained weight loss, and extreme fatigue. These symptoms don't always mean cancer, but don't ignore them. If they last more than 3 weeks, see a doctor. Be direct. Ask if it could be bowel cancer. In the UK, thousands of young people are diagnosed each year and the number is rising. Early action changes outcomes. Don't let embarrassment or denial delay you. Push for answers. It could save your life. Awareness turns fear into hope. Cancer changed me and gave me a mission. Facing my diagnosis was one of the hardest moments of my life, but it also opened my eyes to the importance of the choices we make every single day. It made me realize how much our daily habits, especially what we eat, can shape our future and the future of our children. As a mother and survivor, I urge parents, think about what you feed your kids. Every meal is an opportunity to nourish their bodies and minds, to set them up for a lifetime of health and resilience. The foods we choose for our families today can have a lasting impact, far beyond what we see in the moment. Today's snacks and convenience foods could shape their health decades from now. Many of the processed foods that fill our pantries are loaded with artificial ingredients, preservatives, and added sugars. These may be quick and easy, but over time, they can take a toll on our children's well-being, increasing the risk of chronic illnesses later in life. My own childhood diet may have played a role in my cancer. I grew up eating what was convenient, not always what was healthy. Now, I look back and wonder how things might have been different if I'd known more. That's why I encourage you to read labels, to be curious about what's really in your food. If you can't pronounce it, reconsider it. Many packaged foods contain chemicals and additives that our bodies simply don't need. It's okay to pause and question what you're putting on your family's plates. Choose whole foods, cook at home, and make healthy eating a family habit. Involve your children in the kitchen. Let them wash vegetables, stir the pot, or help set the table. These small moments teach them the value of real food and create memories that last a lifetime. It's not about perfection or guilt. It's about small conscious changes. Every step you take toward healthier choices matters. Celebrate the wins, even if they're tiny. And remember that change is a journey, not a destination. We're guardians of our children's health in a world full of artificial ingredients. It can feel overwhelming, but every time you choose fresh produce over processed snacks, you're making a powerful statement. You're showing your children that their health is worth protecting. Teach kids to love real food and make healthy choices joyful. Turn mealtime into a celebration of colors, flavors, and togetherness. When children see healthy eating as fun and rewarding, they're more likely to carry those habits into adulthood. My diagnosis was a shock, but it gave me purpose. It reminded me that life is precious, and that we have the power to influence our own health and the health of those we love. I want my story to inspire others to take action before it's too late. Listen to your body, advocate for your health, and create a legacy of wellness. Ask questions, seek knowledge, and don't be afraid to make changes for the better. Your children are watching and learning from you every day. Let's work together to change this story for the next generation. When we support each other as a community, we can make healthy living accessible and enjoyable for all families. Choose health, choose awareness, choose hope.